Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's gonna be quite an interesting video. For people who know me, they know mostly my videos are about electrical skateboards. Well, this is a bit different, but it's also electrical. Who follows me, they know I purchased myself a new PEV, personal electric vehicle, which is an electric motorbike. So for people who tuned in specifically to see my honest review of this motorbike, which is Horwin CR6, stay tuned because this will be a truthful review, and if you are thinking about buying one of these, trust me, you need information I'm about to share with you. Okay guys, so for people who don't have time to watch the whole review, detailed review, this is the summary. This Horwin CR6 will cost you £5,000. This is including £500 reduction that you get by government grant towards electrical vehicles. Obviously you will pay a little bit extra for registration and the license plate. Okay, cost is sorted. Now, top speed. Paperwork says 60 miles an hour. You can get 60 miles an hour on the clock, but when you check it against the GPS app, then you get about 53 to 55. So there's about 5 miles missing there, but you do get 53, 54 miles an hour. That is tested. The bike is very light, it's 138 kilos, very maneuverable. Brakes are okay for this speed. You cannot get over 55 miles an hour, so brakes are okay. They're not the best, could be improved. Lighting, okay. I did install additional lights in the front to be more visible. I definitely would like to install extra light as a brake light, because original one, the round little thing they've got there, is not bright enough, and you want to make sure the drivers behind you see you, that you are stopping so they do not ram into you. Now, the bike is automatic, obviously. Bike is chain driven. It has single lever in the front that controls front and rear brake at the same time. That's the regulation. You got a foot pedal that controls the rear brake. That's a bit of different with this bike. It does have a foot brake. Charging time, 3 hours. I sum it up. Obviously it depends how low you drop it. From 20% to 80%, about 2 hours. From 20% to 100%, about 3 hours. That's including the last bit when the cells are trying to balance out. A little storage space in a tank area. You cannot fit helmet in there. Maybe gloves, a few maybe locks or a chain and a lock. That's it. Out of safety features, the steering wheel is not lockable. You do get an alarm, but only does 3 loud beeps. It doesn't go into a panic alarm, and that's pretty much it. You get the fob. You can ride the bike with the key, or just opening the bike up with the fob, put it in the pocket, and then riding the bike. And this is it for the short review, but if you want to know much more detail, please stick around. Now, let's go. So, here we go, my brand new bike. In order to give you truthful information, what I have done, I haven't done the review when I just got it. I actually put 300 miles on it first, taking it to work every day, regardless of the weather. This way I can experience the bike, break it in. I can give you then the truthful review about the performance of the bike. Guys, by the way, just done almost 500 miles. It took me ages before I edited the video. So now it's 500 miles on the clock, and I got a few extra points I'm going to mention in the video that I've picked up while riding the bike even further. So while you are this far away from me, let me just give you a few measurements. For starters, I am 95 kilos and I am 189 centimeters, so 1.9 meters tall. Okay, so that to give you a reference, you know, between my height and the motorbike itself. So overall dimensions, the bike itself, just roughly, I'm not going to look at the paperwork, I'm actually going to tell you by measuring the bike. So wheel to wheel, about 2 meters. Okay, the widest spots of the bike are the handlebars, and that is a 750 millimeters. So not that wide. The reason I'm saying this to you guys, because I bought this bike to travel to work, and I do filter around the traffic, so it's quite good to have this info. Very important measurement as well, guys, and stay tuned because this measurement does change, is the height of the seat from the floor. So at the moment it shows it at about 830 millimeters, and that's important, especially if you are tall, so you can judge how comfortable you're going to be sitting on the bike, how you're going to look like when you're sitting on the bike. So this is the dimensions. By the way, it's quite light, this bike. I'm going to put the measuring tape down. This bike is quite light. It's only 138 kilos. So yes, if you are, you know, a bit bulkier, you can potentially pick the bike up and, well, not pick it up, but, you know, maneuver it in your garage or something. So what I want to show you while you are far away, watch the bike and watch me with my height on the bike when I sit down. So peg away, and now, so this is how you will look like on the road when you are on the bike. Guys, I've tried a few bikes before I bought this one. I went to this place in London here and I've tried 4 or 5 bikes. I don't remember the names now, but you can see this pictures flicking through on the screen right now. And I think this Horwin here was the best suitable to me. They're all small. You know, even though they are electrical motorbikes, they're more like electric scooter, just on a large scale, because the wheels are quite thin. Well, there is a reason for it. Bigger wheels will take more power, and this one was most kind of suitable for me, so I went for it. By the way, this will set you back about £5,000, but in UK there is a $500. And now it started to rain. I need to run. Camera. Oh. There you go, that's how you make videos in UK. Raining. Okay, now we're back. It stopped raining. Welcome to UK. Weather's unpredictable. So, before I give you once around the bike kind of overview, please note that this box here, this is not something that comes with the bike. So let's take this away. Now imagine that the bike doesn't have this rack here, yeah? So your bike will stop right here, at this line. Okay, so when I go around the bike, imagine this is not here. You can buy this. You need to get a different rack that will fit the back box. By the way, these 3 things I can recommend to do to this bike straight away, okay? Is definitely get the back box. There is a storage here, but I'll show you, it's quite small. Well, it's very small really. Also get some additional front lights, and also make the bike visible. Okay, so let's slowly go around the bike. So this is one side of the bike. There we go. You can have a passenger if you want. So you can potentially have someone else sitting on the back. Always need to be quite light person, because otherwise you will bottom out the suspension, but it's possible, like maybe someone younger. All the way around. There we go. It got aluminium wheels, spoke by the alley, single brake. By the way, brakes, well, brakes are not the best in this bike, but how much you expect for £5,000. They do break in and become a bit better. They're not ABS. So that's the front. By the way, this is an addition. It does not come with this windshield. I've put it because it does stop the light from hitting the gauge, and it's easier to see when it's too bright. So that's the front. LED lamp. Those 2 lamps on the sides, they are additional. I've put them on. I'll show you in a second why. Because you need to be more visible, and all the yellow tape as well. Trust me, you need it. When you get hit by a car, you will understand. Well, hopefully you don't, so listen to me. Okay, so that's all the way around, from the back. That's how it looks like. There we go. So that's where your brake is, brake light right there, and that's your signal lights. The brake light is not the strongest, so I have added another one on here, and also going to put more stop lights on the box right there, because I want people to see I'm stopping, or you will get hit in the back. So that's your rear brake, single caliper, but it's alright, does the job. The rear suspension is a shock right there, single shock. It's okay. I can't say it's the best, but it's okay for the money. This is where the motor is. By the way, most of the motorbikes, electrical motorbikes, come with the brakes on the levers. So you'll have front brake, and then second handle will be front and rear brake together. That's the law, you need to have that. But on this bike, I have front and back here. As you can see, all the hoses are doubled out. And then I have the foot brake. So that's a bit more conventional to like, you know, if you used to have a foot brake. Yeah, I think Horwin is the only one who does that. So this is pretty much it on all the way around. It's quite nice, to be fair. As for storage, I was telling you about the storage. So storage is here. Obviously, that's a lovely sticker from my little girl. Storage is here. You open this up and you got a bit of space here. The only thing that fits in here is the charging cable, which you always have with you. Well, I do. You have some gloves in there, maybe a small lunch box. You won't fit the helmet in there for sure, because in diagonal this opening is only about 200 mil. That's it. So just enough for maybe, yeah, sandwich, gloves, and that's it. What nice is you do have a USB charging plug in here. So if you chuck your phones in there, you can put them on charge, so while you ride your phone could be charging. That's a plus. The way it's built, the way the cover is built, it is waterproof. Well, I wouldn't wash the bike. Well, I wouldn't wash this bike at all, to be honest with you. But if you have water getting into the seals here, without pressure applied to it, so not from the hose, it's not going to leak inside, otherwise it will. So that's for the storage. As we have the charging cable out, why not to show you how it looks like. So what you do have is a kettle plug. You got this cute little charge port door. Open that up, you stick the cable in there, boom, another side literally goes into a wall socket. Blink, done. This battery is 72 volt, and that's the battery right there. And yeah, I think it's 52 watt hour. Yeah, I think so. Well, look at the screen. I just done a screenshot after I've done the video, and it is now on the screen. So let's put the cable away. That goes in here. That's not too bad. Now, what else we got here? It comes with this key. As you can see, what you have is you can lock the bike. So it does that. A song, very annoying by the way, when you're in the morning at 6 in the morning starting up the bike, it does that song as well. You can unlock the bike, meaning you can not have the alarm on. Well, it does have alarm. You can find your bike when you press the button, or you can activate the alarm. Oh, sorry, it's not the activate the alarm. This is, sorry, apologies. Okay, I forgot all about it. You can ride this bike without the key. You can turn it on by pressing this button. Sorry, completely forgot. Or, I don't like doing that. Or you can just conventionally kind of turn it on, turn it off. But as you can see, if you don't turn it off from the fob, it stays on regardless what you do to the key. So let's turn it off. Okay, bike is now off. What I like doing is using the key. So you should put it in ignition. You turn the ignition on. It does the song. Everything turns on the gauges. So what you do have here is you have your percentage of the battery. Oh, it's really bad to see. Sorry, guys. I will try to make it take a few pictures. All right, look at the screen. There are pictures there, so it's easier to see. But you got the tachometer. So you can see how fast your motor is spinning. It's relative. You also get the speed, comes in miles or kilometers an hour, shows you the battery, shows you the percentage of your battery, range and trip. So that's it. That's all really you need to know. Obviously you understand this bike is automatic. They do make a pro version when you have the same bike but you got the gears and the clutch. Don't know why. I wouldn't even bother. It's more bits to brake. So that's it for electronics. Simple setup, same as any other bike. You got the signals, which I do like. Got a speaker, so when they are on you can actually hear that the signal is on, your turning signal. It's quite hard to see anything on the screen, by the way, when you're riding, so don't rely on that too much. And at the front, while we got the bike on, you've got these LEDs, which, as I said, these side ones are add-on. It's much more visible. Let me show you the bike without them on. So either like that, or because the bike is blue, I've installed it with a mood light, but it's blue. Not sure if police will like it, but it's not strobing. And this is how the bike looks like from the front when I ride. So when people look in the mirror, they see this. So it's much more visible. What else we got? Which, as I said, quite detailed video, guys. So if you're buying one, when I was looking at the videos, I wanted something like this so I can actually see everything. Now here in the front, you got the EC radiator. So that's your brains behind this, and they're cooling down. Underneath here is the charger. Yes, you heard me right, charger. So you don't need to drag a big massive charger with you because it's already inbuilt. So you only plug into the side there and plug it to the wall, and off you go. It's chain driven bike, so it does make a bit of a noise, which is nice, and it's always good to have that noise. Hopefully you hear it in the video. I will stick a few videos of me riding this bike on motorway. And you have also a secret switch here. See, hiding right behind this panel, so you can kill the bike on that switch. If you hit that, EC will shut down and you will not be able to start it. Well, it's a good way to leave the bike if you are leaving it home for a while without you being home. Yeah, I wanted to show you that. That's the alarm. So that's all you get. If you have the bike off on the ignition, keys are with you. If someone wants to nick it, if they touch it, it does that. So if you rock it, but what I'm confused about, that's all it does. It just does the 3 of these annoying peaks, and that's it. You don't get nothing else. It doesn't like go into a panic mode and start screaming. So there we go. Not a bad bike from looks. They come in like white, blue and black. Well, I went for blue. I like blue. So that's pretty much it. 17-inch tires. They're quite thin, but aggressive enough. They look alright. There are some electric bikes that look proper like push bikes with them skinny tires. This one actually got thick enough tires, I would say. Okay, so that's the overview. Okay, so for people who are serious buying this bike, I think this information is needed. Well, I was looking for it, but I couldn't find it. So this is how the bike looks like when you're sitting on it from the front. These are the turning signals. I wanted to see how bright they are. Let me turn off the lights I've installed and show you it again. Noticeable enough. It comes with a horn, obviously. Quite loud, to be fair. I like that. And it got high, low beam. I'm not sure if you see it, but should do. I'm showing this to you in the daylight, guys. It's no point. I hate when people showing lights off in the dark, because you're going to be riding in the morning or during the day, so you want to see the lights how they look like during the day. Well, let me show you the brake lights as well. The camera is set to the height of the driver. So imagine you are a driver behind me, that's pretty much the height. So this is the brake. Remember that the one at the bottom, the round one, that's the original light, okay? The one that is underneath here, underneath the box, that's something additional put on. Yeah, so bear in mind that one underneath the box will not be there. And what I was telling you before, regards to the suspension, have a look how much travel is there lost when I sit down. So this is without me sitting down. I sit down, it compressed, but there's still a bit of movement, so it's not too bad, but I'm already bottoming out completely. But you really need to hit something hard to bottom out the suspension. I'm gonna look into replacing that for a better shock, that's for sure, but not right now. It's doing okay. Okay guys, so another bit of information I couldn't find anywhere when I was looking for a bike is the compression of the suspension. So I'm not sitting on it right now. Now I am, and this is how much more you got to play with. So this is full travel of the rear suspension. Okay, so front suspension got quite decent travel to it, to be fair. It's upside down forks, spring and oil obviously. So it's got a little bit, but if I get up, the front doesn't compress as much. Well, actually, no, it does. Look in the camera now. But it's quite comfortable, to be honest. The suspension is not bad on this bike. For 5,000 pound bike, it's not bad at all. So guys, that's pretty much it for this video, I think. Unless you want me to whiz down, up and down the road just to show you the sound. Actually, I think I do that. I'll set the camera up on the road and just go up and down the road so you can hear how it sounds like. But before I go, I wanted to tell you the truth about this bike. Okay, so this bike manufacturer, obviously it's Chinese bike, does say that you can get 60 miles an hour out of this bike. And yes, you can. I've got 60 miles an hour out of this bike. At least that's what I saw on the gauge here. But when I compare to the GPS, it's about 56, 55. So, okay, fair enough. You get 55 miles an hour of this bike, 100%. Guarantee you, I've tried it. You will get up to 45 miles an hour quite fast. It's 6.2 kilowatt. So it's not bad. It's actually not bad. But when you hit the throttle, it will get up to about 30 quite quickly. From 30 to about 45, okay-ish. As long as you don't have really stupid headwind coming at you. And then you roll on. You have to wait a little bit, but you can get 55. By the way, guys, correction. I have tested the top speed of the bike another 5 or 6 times. So 55 miles an hour is the top speed of this bike. This is realistic GPS signal app tested. The speedometer will show you 60, but it's not. It's about 53, 55. You gotta wait for it. 50 miles an hour, yes, realistic speed. 53, 55, yes, if you light enough and the road is straight, no headwind. 60, no, it doesn't do 60. Regards to the range, okay, there are 2 speeds on this bike. So there's a button, I forgot to show you, but it's just a silly button on the handlebar here, 1 and 2. Why you want 1 and 2, I don't know. I guess if you stick it on 1, it restricts you on the speed up to 35 mph. So I guess so you cannot go too fast so you don't drain the battery. Possible. I always ride it on speed 2 because I go to work and I use it on the motorway or road that is 40 miles an hour and a 55 miles an hour, so I have to be pushing this bike at all times. So realistic range from 100% charged that I get is about 32, 35 miles. So full charge, about 35 miles. That's a realistic range on this bike with my weight on it. You could get probably a bit more if you go local roads, if you don't go over 35 miles an hour. I never tried it, but it's not for me. I bought this bike specifically to ride on a road that I knew I'm gonna ride, and that wasn't involving from 40 to 50 miles an hour. Now, one thing to remember, this bike, or EC of this bike, will drop the power of your bike as soon as you hit 19%. So as soon as you hit 19% on this bike, your speed will drop down to 30 miles. It goes to like a limp mode. So if you are traveling on a motorway and you hit 90 miles an hour, people will hate you because you'll be just dragging along that motorway and stopping the traffic. So you gotta really carefully think what kind of bike you're buying. There are more expensive bikes out there. You can spend 15, 20 grand on a bike and get, you know, bike that will be stopping better, looking better, going faster and have much more range. But this is a 5,000 pound bike. So remember that. That's pretty much it. Now let me whiz up and down the road quickly for you. Protective gear first, obviously. Regarding charging, guys, it takes 3 hours to charge this bike from 25% to 100. It probably will take about 4 hours if you go lower to, let's say, if you go to 5%. I don't recommend dropping it too low, but let's say I like dropping it to about 20%. But bear in mind, as I said, the bike will go in a limp mode at about 18% anyway. So consider 3.5 hours. At the end of the charge, which is normal, BMS will start balancing the cells. So it could be idling on 98% for quite a long time. So you'll pick it up to 85 quick, but then from 85 to 95, a bit slower, but then from 95 to 100, it takes the longest. You don't have to get to 100, but once in a while it's good, because this is when the battery balances out. Summary. Overall, if you consider the fact that this bike is 5,000 pounds or whatever it is in dollars, I think it's worth it. Yes, you only get about 30-35 miles of actual usable range where you have the pull power of the bike. So if your commute or whatever you use it for is enough with 35-mile range, you're a winner. This bike is definitely light. It's definitely good enough to maneuver around the traffic, around the cars. It's light enough to kind of take turns, so it's not too bad. Brakes, you have to get used to them. They're not as strong as I would like for them to be, but they're good enough. Storage, tiny one in the tank, but I would definitely recommend the rear box. I went for 37-liter box. I would probably went for something slightly larger, but you don't want it to be wider than your steering wheel so you can filter through the traffic. But it's just me. Definitely get some additional lights in the front and additional brake light in the back. 100%. Make yourself visible. I also did replace the mirrors. The round ones that come with it are too small. I went for the wider ones from Amazon. They're only about 12 pounds or something like that, but it gives you a bit more view. If you're in traffic, if you're riding in a city, you want to see what's happening behind you, maybe another bike coming or another car turning, whatever. So get the bigger mirrors. But they're not too expensive, so you can do it yourself and it's not going to cost you a lot of money. What else? The speed-wise. There's enough torque in the bike, it's 6.2 kilowatt. It's enough torque in the bike to kind of whiz around the cars. It's not strong enough to precisely cut between the cars, because you really need that torque. If you have really short distance between the cars, you want to cut in between. So you have to think how you ride on this bike. By the way, for people who think about getting this bike as a first bike, because you never ridden the bike before, whatever not, that is fine. It's quite safe because it doesn't have too much power, so it's not going to wheelie on you if you hit the throttle too much or whatever not. But you have to be careful that sometimes powerful bike is easier to ride because I don't know how to explain it. It's just easier to ride because you can just get through the quick corners and get through small spaces between cars faster. This bike, if you hit the throttle, it needs time to get that speed. So you always have to think when you overtake the car or you get between the cars or change the lane that your bike is not going to just go quickly when you hit the throttle. You need some time for it to respond. So please be careful on that. I will strongly recommend to use the bike somewhere safely for a while. Get used to the braking power. Try the emergency braking, hitting the front brake, rear brake and also the foot brake at the same time. Note that the front suspension is quite soft, which is great when you go over potholes or whatever not, but when you are braking with the front and the front shocks are soft, the forks will fold when you turn, so you could lose the bike. You need to get used to that. I'm sure guys who ride bikes a lot, they know what I'm talking about. For the youngsters or for the newbies, I would like to highlight these facts that you have to test the brakes, you have to test your suspension, see how the bike feels around the corners. Also, when you do, if you decide to get a bike like this, before you get it from the dealer, please make sure that you do a nice thorough check of the bike before you get it. Bikes come disassembled to the country where you are from, because more bikes fit in the container. Bikes get assembled then in the country where you are. So depending who puts them together, this is the quality you get. So definitely check the alignment of the wheels, you know. Get the wheels spinning in the front of you, make sure they're nice and straight, make sure tires are well balanced and they're not wobbling around, make sure your brakes are working fine, make sure your lights are working. So just make sure what you're getting is 100% safe for the road. It should be, because dealer is doing it, but just in case, just be safe. Make sure you go all over the bike before you accept it. Overall guys, I've used the bike every single day, rain or no rain, doesn't matter. I'm happy with it, it fits my purpose, and it's only £5,000. So you can get a more expensive bike or settle for a okay quality Chinese bike for 5,000. It's up to you. Bear in mind the cost when you choose the bike. I hope you liked the video. Please build and ride safely, and I'll catch you in my next video. I got some upgrades for that bike coming up, and I will be recording that and I will be sharing it with you. Ride safely. Bye. Okay guys, and this place that I'm talking about is Green Mopeds UK. It's a nice little tiny place here in London, and you got two people in there, Jeremy and Mark, and also a mechanic. They have a few bikes in there, to be fair, and that's where I went to test the bikes out. I went through everything they've got to offer bike looking wise. They've got a few scooter looking things there as well, but I just couldn't imagine myself on the scooter after riding this thing right here. So I thought I will go for a bike looking thing, and I did. So shout out to Jeremy and Mark. Thank you for all your help. Well, we still got a few things to sort out, but so far so good. They have delivered the bike to me, and well, let's have a look at the video that I recorded on my birthday, because it just happened to be that they returned my bike after I had a bit of an accident with it on the day of my birthday. I'm like a little kid pacing around my driveway, and by the way, today is my birthday. I've got a gift coming, just waiting on the delivery. Should be here any minute. Off today. Huh?
You know, went to school?
Yeah, it's waiting on delivery.
Huh?
Waiting on delivery. Got the new bike coming.
Huh?
Yeah, bike. So I got the camera rolling as well. I see him coming in. Electric one for work. There we go.
We are celebrating the new bike here.
See you later, buddy.
Good?
Yeah, man.
Okay.
See you, my friend. Please. Come on, Jeremy, I'm here, mate. Oh, well done. Good save. Careful, well done. Oh, my bike came in a box. No way. There you go, guys, this is Jeremy. He had no idea it's going to be recorded, but he's cool like that. He has his own channel, so he's not shy. He's the director and the hard worker of Green Mopeds, and there he is, my birthday present. Getting it for the second time.
Yeah.
Today's my birthday, by the way. That's why I'm leaving. Careful. No pressure, you're only on camera. It's only 10,000 people who watch this video. Jeremy knows what he's doing. There he is, look at this. I did tell you guys, it is electric. Nice. Oh, the pad. Lovely, thank
What
you.
you do is you just drill holes through and then little clips.
Push, okay?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which is fine. It is what it is. Well, lovely. Thank you very much. I'll tighten that up. That's fine. I got plenty.
So I'm going to take a photo of you now.
You have? You already got it?
Another one with the lights.
Ah.
Thank you.
There we go. Well, thank you very much. Now, I'm going to be doing obviously the overviews and this and another. As a part of the video, you want me to just hold the camera up? You want to say anything about green scooters? Literally I'm Jeremy, I sell all these kind of bikes. This is where I'm located, so if you guys interested, come on down. I'll stick a link on the bottom of my yeah? Okay. Guys, a few words from Jeremy. By the way, he did help me quite a lot. I got the bike from him. I was quite a pain in the ass. I've tried every single bike that he's got in his shop, about 4 or 5. So I stopped at Horwin, but we'll see how it goes. And now a few words from Jeremy. Why electric and, well, whatever you want to say really to my guys.
Yeah, hi. Hi, Jeremy. I work for Green Mopeds. We founded the company in 2017 to bring electric mopeds and motorcycles to the UK market. At that time, there were only 116 bikes registered, and now it's about 6% of the market. We offer a large choice of bikes to satisfy all needs, budgets, requirements, etc.
Scooters as well?
Yeah, exactly. And we're located in West London, in Brentford, and you're more than welcome to come on down to have a look and test ride some bikes.
I'll stick the link to his website and all the information into the comments or in description. So have a look, guys, yeah? Thank you very much, sir.
Cheers. Thanks a lot.
See you in 500 miles.
Enjoy.